Roger. Copy that. Weapon secure. 10-4.
Yo, it's Sigma Prepper, where wisdom is the key. We're ready for the future, staying ahead and staying free. When the world goes dark, we won't be shedding a tear. We prep with our minds, never ruled by fear. It's not the list of preps, it's the knowledge we flex. Gaining understanding and solving what's next. No sitting by a fire, eating squirrels on sticks. We'll be navigating chaos using Sigma Prepper's tricks.
In the chaos of survival, your mind is your shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing.
SHTF, we break it down smart. From the big picture view to the detail in the parts. Drew Law's got you, his knowledge on tap. Real-time strategy, he cuts through the crap. From the high IQs to the tech we choose. We're ahead of the game, we never gonna lose. We stay prepared, never needing to fight. Join Sigma Prepper and we'll make it through the night.
It's seeing the signs, reading tomorrow through intelligent minds. Survival's more than just having a plan. It's about how you act when it all hits the fan. Join our Discord where knowledge is prime. The wolf pack's there for you every time. In the chaos of survival, your mind is your shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing.
Reject the herd, prepare the pack. We're on a mission, there's no turning back. From crisis to strength, we'll survive the storm. It's knowing you've been able since the day you were born. Survival's an art, we sharpen the blade. We adapt, we survive, we're not afraid. Get yourself comfy for the Sigma Prepper show. The time is counting down and we're nearly good to go. Prepare your mind, cause intelligence is the key. Owning our instincts, we don't freeze, fight or flee. Knowledge is power, it's the ultimate force. No following the herd, we just create a new course. From a single lone woman to a family of 5. Learn from Sigma Prepper and see how you can thrive.
In the chaos of survival, your mind is your shield. When it all goes wrong, it's the wisdom revealed. The tech, the knowledge, the smart preparation. When the crisis comes, we're gonna own the situation. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing.
Reject the herd, prepare the pack. Click the like button, it's as easy as that. Check the description for the links you need. Follow my socials, subscribe to my feed. Support me on Patreon to gain the edge. Discounts and freebies, just make a pledge. The countdown's done, it's time to go. Sigma Preppers Live, let's start this show.
Welcome Wolfpack. Here we are, as usual, on our Sunday night Campfire Catch-up with your host Drew here on the Sigma Prepper channel. Thank you to each and every one of you for coming to join me tonight. Just chillaxing, chillaxing around a campfire with your bathrobes or your nightwear or your onesie, whatever you're most comfortable in is the idea. And we'll have a catch up and we'll talk about what's been going on in the world and bit of catch up what we've had in the week and what we've got coming next week. You know, the usual stuff. So quick look at some of the developments as well going on out there. Should be interesting. Is that my beautiful Kazza arriving? Is that my also beautiful Purple Flurple, but she's hiding somewhere in my neck of the woods? Shh. Excellent. I can see you. My main man from Florida reporting. Good to see you, Tuck by V1. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Look at Mel Sibley in there. Good evening, Wolfpack. Love from Lincolnshire. We've got it all going on tonight. Pedigree Mongrel, one of our moderators. Sandy. What can I tell you? Sandy's just Sandy, you know. Not just Sandy. Sandy's the fabulous Sandy. Got Daily Survival, moderator of all moderators, making sure everyone's feeling as welcomed as possible on the way in. So thank you all. Yes, it's been an interesting week, I suppose, out there in the news. Lots of things hitting the fan, lots of things looking like they could hit the fan in the future as well. Thank you to those that have signed up to the Wolfpack Report newsletter recently. The link to that should be in the description of this video. But yeah, I saw quite a few people come in last night and the night before. So looking forward to getting that rocking. We'll get the edition going out in May, which is obviously only in a few days' time. So I'm looking forward to that. And we'll be putting the, part of what happens in the Wolfpack report on a monthly basis is things like highlighting people's achievements as well, which includes, people who supported the channel financially, as well as people like Margie Mulder, who won the quiz last night. Well done, 5 out of 7. And we had a great after party as well. I got to chat to Margie Mulder as well. So we had a good old catch up, which was cool. And so glad to hear you're all good. And got to chat to Robert as well, Robert McNamara, so that was nice. Catch up with someone in Wolfpack afterwards. I was tempted, I say tempted, I do tend to try my best every time to try and do a live show that's like an hour or less. And I don't know, I just don't seem to be able to do it. Should we see if we can do it tonight, just for a laugh? Cheers, everyone. Love, peace, and progress to the pack. Cheers. Have I got a floater? I have. I've got a floater. It's one of those tiny, tiny, tiny little flying things. But it's okay. It was already drowned, so it wasn't savable. Otherwise, I would have done. You know me. Cheers, everyone. Thank you, Days of Survival, keeping the links flowing. Keep the fire lit, Drew. The darkness is upon us. Great to see you, Hatchy. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're well today. Hope you had a good Sunday, chilling out, relaxing. I'll tell you what, there's been a little bit of sun rays today. I didn't really have much time to sit in the sun. I've had one of the ultimate hotspots to package up today, so I've been doing that, and a little bit of soldering as well that I had to do earlier on. So I haven't really sat in the sun, but I did for about 4 minutes, scrolling through some stuff, TikTok and that, and seeing what's going on in the world, keeping up with current trends. And but yeah, it was a lovely show last night. I really appreciate everyone coming to join and wishing me a happy 3-year anniversary. Of course, if you missed it, it's still there, so you can go and check it out. So thank you to all those supporting me over the last 3 years and helping me, despite everything sent to hold this channel back. Is not even funny, but part of being a Sigma, isn't it? Right? Just got to plow through it. Just be better all the time, and hope that your better is good enough at some point in your life. But we'll have to see. Thank you to all those as well. We have a few new people joining the Discord server. Again, links to that is in description. So yeah, I had a few things I was going to show you last night. I had stocked up for you, but it was already quite a long one last night, so I didn't get to show you anything. So I thought I'll show you some of those tonight, just so I can get them off my feed, and then I can say, right, I've showed my Wolfpack the stuff I wanted to show. But the first one is actually a little bit random, but this never ceases to fascinate. But check it out. This is, as you can see down here, look, 1957, 0 satellites. So what this is going to be doing is showing you how many satellites that they've launched and are whizzing around our Earth over time. And this is something I talked about a long time ago as a real big threat is when you have like space debris and stuff. It makes it almost impossible to, like, if anyone's seen that film with George Clooney and Sandra Bullock, is it? Let me know live in the chat what that film's called. But look, we're up to 1985 and look at the state of it already, right? 1989. And then it just explodes. Got buffering problems going on now. That's brilliant. Look, 2008, we're up to 1600 already. I'm sorry about the buffering. I can see YouTube's up to its stuff again. Thank you, YouTube. Appreciate it. You're so wonderful. Yeah. It's funny, right as I say that, it just goes... look at this, 2025, man. 14,000 satellites. Look at the state of it, right? How can this be good? How do spaceships even get up there without smashing into something and then creating debris just everywhere? Yeah? So no, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think, but I'm just quite amazed by that. I've been tracking this over years, and obviously suddenly it's had a massive whoomph. And when you see it like that, it's like, man, that's pretty epic. Evening Band again, good to see you. Who else have I missed? Ian Palmer as well. Gravity, thank you so very much. Yes, that's exactly the film I was thinking of. Thank you, Ian. Maximum points in the chat. So yeah, gravity, right? You know when you see that cascade effect of like the satellite crashing in and debris? I mean, this is something that I think this was the big issue with when China came up. Was it China or Japan? I'm pretty sure it was China, and they came out with their satellite that could grab satellites and launch them into the atmosphere so they could burn them up, right? Now, it was for a genuine reason in terms of trying to clear up the litter in space. As you see, it's not the sort of thing that you're going to want to keep there. You know, if you consider the satellites that were there back in the day, right? So we look at like 1960s, 10 satellites there. You have to wonder how many of those 10 satellites from 1960 are still operational. And then you look at 1969, you've got 200. So how many of those 200 are still operational today? Yeah, 55 years later or whatever. And so if you just keep adding, don't forget Starlink themselves have put something like 4,000 satellites up there. Just in the last couple of years. 4,000 satellites just in the last year and a half, I think it is. I might look that up in a minute. I don't like being inaccurate. And so China came up with a satellite that was able to sort of grab hold of satellites that were sort of just junk, space junk, right? And then just sort of launch it towards Earth so it would just burn up in the atmosphere. Now, obviously, the United States didn't like that because you could also use that same satellite claw to take out enemy satellites if you wanted to. So you can imagine why they had an issue with it. But at the same time, you need to do something because you can't just have all that junk accumulating, and then every time you launch a satellite up there, you're risking that much more. 2 satellites colliding, and hold on, let me just pause that. And of course, when you have 2 satellites collide, you're in a whole load of danger because then you've got stuff like what Ian was saying, like in Gravity, the film, where once you have that cascade effect and you've got debris breaking off and then they hit other satellites, those satellites hit other satellites, and then it's just a complete quagmire. And that would be the end of global communications as we know it. I mean, not that really that many communications come via satellite, despite what they say. But yeah, let me know what you think. But when I see that number of satellites and the fact you've got like thousands of people who are, yeah, it looks like YouTube just clamped the video down tonight. There was like 40 people suddenly were here live, and then it just clamped it down. So just so you know, YouTube's trying to keep this video to less than 25 people live simultaneously. So bear that in mind. If you're the 26th person, I'm sorry, you're going to get bumped off. Yeah, it's just, you can see the bandwidth is, you know. Sun has absolutely no benefit to the biodiversity of the planet. Yeah, are we talking about the oh, thank you very much. Pedigree Monger here. Kessler syndrome is a theory of a cascade of space debris creating an artificial barrier to space. Yeah, thank you. Kessler syndrome. That's interesting. Thank you, Pedigree Monger. I wasn't aware of that, what it was called, that it was a thing. So I'm going to look that up. We might have to make that a show so I can sort of talk about what that would mean for humanity and what that would mean for our society we live in, yeah, and so many things changing. So looks like the buffer's coming back. I don't even know. If people hit the like, would YouTube still kick them off? I'm not sure, but they do stuff like reduce the bandwidth so that they just make it stop so it looks like you just stuttered, and then when enough people drop off, because they just go somewhere else, then they let your thing stream through again. That's what they're doing. So, but they can't do it to just certain people. They have to do it to everyone. And then when enough people, YouTube's got enough people to drop off, then it will turn it back on again. And then that's how it's maintaining 25 at the moment. It shot to 40, and then YouTube's come straight in there to try and do what it does to clamp it down. So, yeah, it's very unfortunate. But, you know, I've been dealing with this, not just on this channel. Yeah, like I say, that's when you know you're over the target, right? Cheers, everyone. So anyway, Kessler syndrome. Yeah, I'll have to look that up, Pilgrim Mongrel. Thank you. Thank you. Because it is an interesting topic, and the cascade effect of it is pretty gnarly, and it's just not something I think we're going to want to experience, to be honest. It's not. It will change life in quite a big way, yeah? Yeah, so this is interesting. This is quite a worrying trend I'm seeing on the global stage, is all the travel warnings for... Oh, hold on, sorry, I think YouTube's trying to chop another bunch of people off with the bandwidth. Just relentless, I tell you. I wish they would just leave me alone. I really do. I really do. It would be nice. I've just tested my internet and it's absolutely rock solid, so... Yeah, it's just the usual. It's the usual. Because there's 37 people now, you see, it needs to try and get it down to 25. So, here we are. I've just tested it and done a run on it. It's absolutely perfect. It's just embarrassing, you know, and it's... If the only way you can win is by cheating, then it says a little bit... It says quite a lot about the methods having to be used. I'm guessing it's just stuttery for everybody right now, is it? Let me know. Yeah, now it's gone all jumpy, says Mel. Right, 5 seconds. Yeah, it's just hunting it. It's hunting it down. It's just so embarrassing. Yeah, 500 megabit a second, and 55 megabit a second upload speed, so it's absolutely no excuse for it whatsoever. It's amazing. It's so busted. So busted. And it's doing it. Now it's showing me, error, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth rendering. Yeah? And it's got it down to 24. It was just on 39, now it's on 24. Do you see? Now it's back to 34. It's embarrassing. I watch this happen every time I do a show, right? Oh, I wish it would just let us do what we need to do. So I'm just going to check out the headlines. We're not doing a full-on global threat analysis, but I did want to see if there's anything happened over the last day. Doesn't really look like it. You got this, you know, Vancouver car ramming thing, but the earthquakes aren't looking too severe. We're still up at 49, and it still seems to be those usual suspects around here that's cranking it up over near Puerto Rico. 21 out of those 49 are just there. And the sun hasn't really done much either, despite the number of sunspots we've got rocking on there. None of them are particularly active or spicy, so... Yeah, we don't have an awful lot to worry about. I will have a look at cryptos, though, because obviously that's still rocking at the weekend. Unlike everything else. So, we've got... yeah, I noticed... yeah, they've got it down to 26 now. They've got it down to 26. It is so embarrassing. And now it's gone green for me down here. So now it's like, oh, they're going to leave it alone now. And you watch. It will shoot back up to like 38, 39, 50. And then they'll just go whoomp and they'll throttle it back down again until people drop off. This is embarrassing. I do apologise, everybody. I have to apologise for those who are having to go through this. You've come here because you want to watch my videos, right? And yet the amount of people every week I get telling me that they've been unsubscribed when they didn't unsubscribe and things like this, and they go back to my videos and they liked it, but when they go back to the videos, it's unliked. How do you explain that? And the same as like now, it's buffering, and yet I've just done a speed test. It's got like 55 megabit a second upload speed and 549 megabit a second download speed. So... And like I say, when they restrict you to only letting you have 25 people at the same time, that's when the only way they do it is just by buffering it down so that people drop off. So anyway, what I was trying to say before we're being rudely interrupted. So this has been a big thing going on this week in the news. China joins Canada, UK, Netherlands, Portugal, Germany, France and more in issuing new travel warning for US due to increased border scrutiny and rising tensions. What you need to know. So this is pretty worrying, really. And if you look at the numbers of what's dropping off in America right now, here. So if you look at this, look, I'm sorry it's blurry. I was going to get the original to this. But you see, the number of Europeans traveling to the US has cratered under Trump. So this is year on year changing visitors to the US by country of origin. Now, bear in mind, United States makes quite a bit of money out of their tourism industry, as the UK did, right? But because all the travel warnings have been going out to all of these countries about don't be going to America because it's dangerous, you can see, look at this, man. This is like properly, look at the UK, look at the drop-off of people going to the United States. This is not going to look, this is not good. This is on top of things like the tariffs and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? This is on top of all the inflation. This is on top of the sentiment the world has right now, the way they're being treated by the American administration. And now you've got travel warnings being going out, warning countries not to let their citizens go to America. And look at the effect it's having instantly, right? Don't tell me it's not going to be felt, right? And I'll tell you actually, when you look into this and you look into it further to see exactly what the warning's about, a lot of it is actually, apparently, let me know live in the chat, Wolfpack, if you know about this. Audio keeps dropping out. Jazz hands, leave us alone, innit? Yeah, I mean, I can see it red down there. Happy twos. I can see it red down there on my streaming software. So I know that YouTube's messing me about, because like I say, I've got full speed internet. Yeah. It's just pointless. It's just pointless. It's got it down to 27 now. It needs to get it to 25 before it will, you know. I'll show you what I mean. You see? If you watch, you'll see exactly what I mean. If you watch the concurrent viewers, is that 31 up there? I can zoom it in for you. So you see this concurrent viewers here, 30, right? It doesn't let it do anything until it's got that down to 25, right? Let's just refresh it. $30. And you see it's saying error, YouTube is not receiving enough thing. And now it is. And now it is, right? It's just embarrassing, man. It does it to me all the time. It's doing it again now. It hasn't got it down to 20. Sorry, 5 people are going to have to leave the live stream. Otherwise, YouTube's not going to leave it alone. YouTube only lets this channel have 25 people at one time. Right, 29. We need another 4 people to drop off because it's stuttering. And then YouTube would have got it where it needs it. It's pathetic. So anyway, my point being is that one of the problems that America's got with these countries are warning people not to go there is that when they arrive at the border, American TSA, border security, they're checking foreigners, including Western foreigners, right? They're checking, particularly Western foreigners, they're checking their mobile phones and their tablets and stuff, trying to, looking at their social media to see what their posts are about. And lots of people are being denied entry. It's let it go green again, by the way. So did it get it down to 25? Yeah, it's just not going to let me be, is it? But it's cool. I'm used to it. I'm used to it. It's because there's now 39 on there, and like I say, it's got to strip people off. I do apologise, everyone. I'm so sorry for what YouTube's doing to you. It is so mean. Let alone now what it is for me trying to build a business. It's just so mean for you. All these people that I get sending me these videos of screenshotting their thing where they go and subscribe to me, they come away, they go back in and it's unsubscribed. They like a video, they come out, they go back in, they show me that it's unliked again. Not unliked, but it's not liked, isn't lit up. What's that, a coincidence? I must get 3 or 4 people a week telling me this. Oh, it's pathetic. So, the issue is that countries are worried about how people have been denied entry where they've been looking through their social media platforms on their phone, and you're forced to open your devices for the TSA to look through. And if they don't like what you've been posting on social media, either about America or about something else or about Israel or about Palestine, you name it, sorry, you're not coming in. Yeah, you're not coming in. Which is just like, I just think it's quite a bold thing to do, because of course there was a scientist, for example, who turned up and he was denied entry based on they saw something on his mobile phone to do with some forum he was a member of, and they were talking badly about the CDC, and he's like a proper scientist going there for a convention. And because he was talking negatively about some opinion the CDC had about something, they literally denied his visa on entry. Right? It's been so many instances like this of various different nations, particularly Europeans, being, you know, just being revoked on the border. You've spent the money, you've got the flight, you've got there, and they said, nah, sorry, we just looked through all your private messages and your private social media posts, and we've decided we don't want you coming in. I don't know, let me know what you think in the live chat. But when they were talking about building a wall and stuff, I didn't really think that was what they meant. I didn't think it was like just... So it's just really, you know... Yeah. It's not going to be happy until it's only got it down to only... 25. We go through this quite regularly, and it's on 31 at the moment, unfortunately for YouTube. So yeah, it's so I think that's quite concerning. I think, you know, the way America is already making themselves look, whether intentionally or not, is irrelevant. But the way America's making themselves look on the global stage at the moment, and then you couple that with the countries then warning their citizens about visiting America because, you know, of these sorts of instances. It is very not in your own best interests, it seems. Yeah. John C in the house, good to see you, my man. I hope you're well. My 2 up, 2 down castle. Didn't see you slip in the back door. Thank you so much for being with us. Good to see you last night as well, my darling. I hope you enjoyed the show and everything. Yeah, I think it's just going to keep it as being pretend throttling, like pretending like I don't have any bandwidth, even though I've got it. That's the 3rd time I've just run a test on it, and every single time comes back as pegged top bandwidth. So here we go then. Here's something else I wanted to show you. I've got to tell you, this is like classic. This is classic British. This is classic British, check it out. This is a classic meme, so you've probably seen it before, but if not. Sometimes you see things that make you, I don't know about proud to be British, but it certainly is the sort of thing you'd expect with the reaction. Look, he literally punches it in the head.
Hey, work!
Oops, sorry. Oh. Lich punched a seagull in the head. I don't know what you feel about that, but yeah, punched a seagull in the head. It was going to come and steal his, I don't even know what they were, little mussels or something? What a geezer. And I don't condone harming any animal at all. Least of all for no reason. Down to 15. Okay, cool. And you know what I was going to say? I was just about to make a joke, though. They must have got it down to below 25 because I'm showing green everything this end now. Oh, dear. Yeah, you see? Look. So you see now it's on 20. Do you see now it's all totally cool? And I've got green lights down here as well. Right? So you see 26. Concurrents, 26. The minute that gets to about 30, they'll get that orange thing along there. I'll get red things down here in my software saying that it's not getting enough data from me, which I know it is. You know what I mean? It's really funny. I guess that's all they got. British seagulls are hard as... Fine example of British culture. Yeah. Seagull learned a valuable lesson. Isn't it? Sky rats, says Ian. Yeah. A lot of people call them that. I'll tell you something that I just find is like really someone who's really getting it on the social medias this week. Yeah. Someone who's been really getting it hard styly. See if you can guess. She went up in a spaceship recently. Yeah. No one cares about other live streams, the people who follow me, John C. So no, this has nothing to do with that. It's just I'm capped to 25, yeah? I'm capped to 25 at the same time. Sometimes it's 50, most of the time it's 25, and when it goes above that, it's on 24 at the moment. So you'll see, whenever it goes above about 30, expect it to start buffering to try and shake people off, basically, because most people don't have the patience with buffering, and YouTube knows that. So, oh look, they guessed it already. Absolutely, Katy Perry. Yeah, check it out. Look at this. This is an absolute disaster. After already the disaster, PR disaster of her going up in a spaceship, the stuff she came out with. It's become like super relentless and embarrassing. Check it out and tell me what your thoughts are.
See the unity that we. I hope they can see the unity that we modeled and replicate that and understand that we weren't just taking up space; we were making space.
And so I would just like to say to you and to everyone here, gracias para vivir en la casa.
You'll never know the amount of love that you have inside of you to give and to receive until the day you launch.
En las escuelas, en el azul marcada.
Perfect.
Tienes con vivir en las fortalezas.
Because you're leaving all the love behind and you're surrendering and you're hoping that you get another chance to love them again. And so when you come back down, you're like, oh, I get another chance and I'm going to do it.
Oh my God, now I'm crying.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
100%. Man, and I'll tell you what, you know, it gets worse because when you see the absolute you-know-what show, I don't know if you've seen it, but if you, like, when we're talking stuff like satanic ritual type thingy-bob, and you see Here we go, this one. This is her concert that she's now gone on to do. So she's done the old going up in a spaceship, and then everyone's like really annoyed at her because they're thinking you just spent millions and millions to go up in a spaceship and all you can do is like hold a daisy at the camera. And we're down here, can't even afford eggs. This is basically what the internet was saying about her, right? That was the problem, is that she's going up there spending all this money and no one can even afford to buy eggs in America. And this is like when you looked at the sentiment and all the comments negatively about her, that was what was going on. And then check out this. This is nasty. Is all the only thing I can call this. Is just absolutely nasty. I mean, you tell me what you think, but I'm just not into it. This is giving me like primary school pantomime vibes. Primary school, like teachers sitting in the audience watching their kids doing a pantomime. Tell me what you think. Look at even the running. Yeah, I'll have to talk over it because of obviously you know why. But look at this. Is this fight scene? Look at this guy going up on that. What was that about? And then she's just like skipping along, waiting to be dragged around. Yeah. And tell me if this is giving you pantomime vibes. Whoa, the timing on that was just horrific. I mean, look at this, and like the guy's not even in the right position when she goes to swing around. They haven't rehearsed at all, so everyone's basically saying, "What are you doing?" Look, he was in the wrong position. He's supposed to be there. Oh god, it's just cringy. I can't even watch it. Look at the way she's running. It's like, what are you doing? Oh, come on, please tell me it's not just me. And I can barely watch it. It's just. Oh no. People like basically the sentiment on that on the internet was essentially everyone in the comments going, oh, she should have been rehearsing for her concert rather than messing around as an astronaut. Let's see what you find people have got to say about it. I don't even know where I left off. Bridesmaids, brilliant. Oh, is that from Bridesmaids? Is it? Banned again. Pukey. Thank you, sir. Hatchy. What's a proper scientist? What's that to do with? Oh, I suppose that's the geezer turnover. Well, proper as in, you know, everyone can be a scientist if you want, but he's a proper scientist in as much as he was going to America to do a seminar talking about science as a scientist. That's what I mean by proper scientist. Hello, High Brass. Good to see you. Everyone welcoming High Brass in. The ones promoting the J.A. Boo, says Gaza. I like it. I like it, John C. I liked her better before she was famous and I hadn't heard of her. Perry was spotted at a film studios when she's... Yes, I saw that. Well, not just that, Band Again. Did you see the fact that there was video footage of her coming out of... Her and Bezos coming out of that film studio for 6 weeks on the trot? If that's the same one you're talking about. Will someone please superimpose a Willy on the rocket? Yeah, it's nasty. Off her head. People's paid 175 buckaroonies a ticket for that build. She shouldn't have bothered. Isn't it Max Crin's case? It's like the whole, like, Madonna doing a thrusting thing as a 68-year-old woman or whatever she was on stage, like thrusting her pelvis on the stage. It's like, you're a 60-odd-year-old woman. Not that I would have an issue with any other 60-year-old woman out there thrusting, doing their thing. I get it. It's fine. But I'm just saying, for her to be doing it... Come on. Right, next up then. None of these are in any particular order. There were just things dotted around from the last show that I just never got around to showing. Here's one I don't think got shown. This is a meme that a friend of mine sent me. Dublin, Ireland annually hosts the largest redhead festival in the world. You got the Disney's remake look. Oh, I don't think redheads are allowed any form of a festival on their own, are they? So another thing as well that I sort of glossed over, but I think is worthy of mention, was, which is a big thing in the news this week, which I wanted to catch you up on in case you'd missed it, is, hold on. I think I've got some notes on here. Oh, fuck. Sorry, excuse my French. Oh, for crying out loud. Right, we're in. Okay, no, it's not on that one. So I did talk about the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab stepping down, stuff like this. Yeah. And I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, but I was a little bit cautious about it, that I had heard that there were investigations underway, but they were allegations, and I was kind of careful about what I said about it. But I can tell you now that indeed, that is the case. So Geneva, AP, this is like Associated Press, Bidney, right? So the World Economic Forum, which runs an annual gathering of elites in Davos, Switzerland, says its board has given its unanimous support for an independent investigation into allegations of misconduct by founder Klaus Schwab. So we'll remain this as alleged, but this is more stuff coming out, right? Now, originally he was going to be retiring over the next 1 or 2 years handover, but in the end, when the Pope died on the same day, he stepped down then and there. So I wonder if that was to try and hide behind the news of the Pope so that nobody really noticed that that had happened, but he'd at least publicly declared he was planning to step down. That's usually how they do things. So they took their opportunity. His PR team would have been like, right, Klausy boy, I think we need to fucking do it now, man. You need to just resign immediately rather than drag it out, and then people are going to start looking into it. And we can do it now because the Pope's just died, so everyone's going to be consumed by that. They won't even notice the news story, but plausible deniability, we can put it out there to say that at least we told them. Anyway, so the statement from the Geneva-based think tank and event organizer late Tuesday come after a report published by the Wall Street Journal cited a whistleblower letter alleging financial and ethical misconduct by Schwab, 87, and his wife, Hilda. The newspaper reported that the allegations were sent in an anonymous letter to the board last week and included claims that Schwab family mixed their personal affairs with forum resources. In a statement sent, you have to wonder if this is connected to the whole Doge team doing their thing recently and uncovering all the money going from USAID to the WEF and stuff, right? You gotta wonder. Timing on it's interesting. So in a statement sent to the Associated Press, the forum said its board, which includes former US Vice President Al Gore, Jordan's Queen Rania, and European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde, as members, agreed to a decision by its Risk and Audit Committee to open the probe. So I'm really surprised by this, but apparently this is a thing. This is a thing, and yeah. So we have to wonder, well, I think we already know, but in terms of like, my theory was that Tony Blair would be the one who, and you see there's headlines everywhere about it. Yeah. World Economic Forum board backs launch of independent probe into founder Klaus Schwab, right? And it was a bit sus the way he suddenly, I followed the news saying that he was planning to, he was, I forget the terminology they used, but it was something along the lines of he was transitioning his departure. Yeah, it was like one of these sorts of things. So over the next 1 or 2 years, he will be transitioning and this kind of shit. And then like a week later, suddenly Bosch on Monday, he's just like, nah, I'm done. I'm like, what do you calling it? With effect today. Resigning with effect immediately. So that's my theory. Obviously, I'm entitled to my theory and my opinions to what I think's gone on. But yeah, I think the timing's interesting. I think the choice to do that on the Monday when the Pope died was probably aligned with him trying to hide behind that, so not many people saw the story, and it gives CNN, BBC an opportunity to shove it down in the headlines so no one actually sees it. It's very effective. Time for a mega Doge world corruption cleanup campaign, says Pedigree Mongrel there. Changing my name to Vesta Swam. Gracias, give and receive. Weren't she in bed with Russell Brand? Yes. Yes. Do you know what, Haji? Let me know if you agree, but I think, to be honest, I think that already makes it a little bit dodge. Like, I think, you know, those two together, I just think you've got to be a bit dodge to be dealing with that. She's like properly satanic, by the way, if you didn't realise that. She's well into the whole Satanism. But, you know, it seems to be the case. It seems to be the case that it's a genuine thing in terms of Klaus getting investigated and that. So, you know, I like to show you some of the cool stuff when it comes to prepping and like bug out vehicles and things like that. I've got another one for you. I don't know if it's as cool as the last one, but this one's cool. Kaz is feeling a self-offing coming along with him. You think he's going to get Jeffrey'd? Do you think he'll get Jeffrey'd, Kazza? By the way, I think YouTube just unlocked this channel to 50, so it's keeping it about 48 at the moment. So if you do see it go anything above 55, 60, then expect it to start buffering again. So here we go. Check this out. This is China's Cybertruck, which looks absolutely meaty. Let me know what you think about this versus the Tesla Cybertruck. But I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't be talking over it.
I just found a Cybertruck in China, and this is stunning. Let me show you guys. China's version of the Cybertruck.
I'm loving them wheels. Yeah, I like the fact that it's not quite as sharp and pointy. It's a little bit more chunky. Yeah. And I'm loving that brushed stainless steel as well. But let me know what you think. I'm just loving the lines on it. Yeah, this bit here, I think that's tidy. Bulletproof as well and all that, apparently. But as a bug-out vehicle, it's looking pretty cool. Pickup. Oh, I'm liking the lines on it. But let me know your thoughts. Do you like this more or the Tesla Cybertruck more? I mean, this isn't, obviously, China isn't calling this a Cybertruck. This is what this dude's calling it. But I guess it does look like the similar-esque. A similar-esque. Obviously, there's a big, massive thing going on at Shanghai at the moment. With the car show, the technology show, and there's some pretty incredible stuff coming out of there. But let me know your thoughts on that as a, what do you call it? In the algorithm, definitely needs a slap today, innit? It loves it. It loves it. It's saying to me, now would be a good time to insert ads, but we don't do that when we're live. Look, you see it here? You see this, look. I get this thing that pops up saying at the top, the blue one, now would be a good time to insert ads. But this is the trick, you see, is what I do is you set it up so that you have to do it manually. You've got to really dig around the settings to get it to do that. But you do it so that you have to do it manually, and then you just don't trigger an ad, and then people get to watch the whole video without being interrupted and that when it's live. I don't know what YouTube does to it after it's been live, but of course it's not as much of a problem when we're doing things like quizzes, or I'm doing like 104 slides of a presentation. You know, people get annoyed when the ads come on, because bear in mind, when the ad comes on for you, it doesn't pause it for me. It's still rocking about, right? And so people have got to wait. Even if it's like a skippable ad, they're still waiting for 5 seconds. If we're in the middle of the Sigma Prepper quiz like we were last night, it just doesn't make any sense. And financially, it doesn't make any sense either. I've mentioned to people before that it's just not worth it, right? When you look at what a video actually generates in terms of sheets, it's just not worth you going through it. Yeah. Like if you look at it on a per video, if I do a live show with the ads on, do you know we're talking about like 39 cents, like as in $0.39 is what money will come from ads happening while you're trying to watch the video live. So I think to myself, what's more important for me? People have been able to consume the information, particularly when I've got a whole presentation done out that I've put a lot of work into. What's more important to me, you know, people being able to watch that uninterrupted, or 39 cents, which, bear in mind, to me is like 20 pence because of the exchange rate going so crazy with the devaluing of the dollar right now, right? So it's even less. But I'm just saying, does that really make any sense? Of course not. For 39 cents, you got to be some sort of you-know-what to be worrying about, to be putting everyone through that for 39 cents. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, let me know if you agree or not, but that's just the way I see it. I'm not really, it just seems illogical. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. Right. Need a truck versus truck competition. Thank you, YouTube, for chilling out for a minute. Yeah, it's capping it at 50, so we'll see. If it ain't that the Dark Knight's Batmobile, then I ain't interested, says Fertile Flurple. Well, do you know, there have been a few cool looking mobiles that I've shared with you that I've come across that I'm thinking, you know, they would be cool. This was one we saw the other day, don't forget. Now this is actually like a Polaris.
This right here is a SWAT vehicle.
So this is like a Polaris 4x4, but they've retrofitted it with like this armor shell on it, which I quite like the idea of that. Now I'm not sure if you can buy this as a retrofit. This is obviously what some dude's making for the SWAT team's government contract, but easily reproducible.
Inside of interior spaces, for example, schools or malls. Now everything over here is armored. So you have these panels.
Come on.
For the driver to look through, but all of this is bulletproof.
Come on, don't tell me you're not into it.
Airless tires by Michelin.
You got to be all about that.
You can shoot these as many times as you want. They're not going to puncture. You have the lights over here, plus these ones to daze you if you're in front of it. And the door doubles as a shield. So you have this bit that'll clip.
Oh, that's cool. Right, I didn't notice that before.
Like this, you can pull that down to protect
your
your
man.
feet. And now you can be behind.
Not with the swingy business, it won't, but never mind.
Right there. And you can take
I see what they're going for.
Whenever you want. And over at the back, you have straps and a bar, so you can carry a passenger for your mission.
Who's going to get shot to shit from behind? But never mind.
850, but it has this 500-pound armored cage and a couple of other extras. For example, up here, we have these buttons, and if you press this, yeah, you get things like sirens, different kinds of lights. Now,
so this is basically, it's just, they've just retrofitted this armor on the top, and it's obviously added, like, what did he say, 500 pounds? I mean, that's crazy, man. The performance of that's going to suffer, like... But yeah, the airless tyres are good. What about being on other platforms? Speak your mind. No, it's not the right market audience for me. The whole reason why I developed this channel from other ones that I've run for prepping in the past is that the whole point was to be a space where normal people who it's just having somewhere where normal people from working life, right, professional working life type people, who, you know, are somewhat higher than average IQ, let's just say, who understand that strategy and having a plan and thinking things through logically and rationally is the way to, for them anyway, to have a competitive advantage in a crisis. I mean, there's not really many people out there that talk their language. There's not many people out there that they feel like they can learn from because they're just not talking their language, you know. And so if you're all about the military, you're all about like getting dirty in the woods and playing with your mates, doing camping and shit, then there's loads of preppers out there that do all of their live shows wearing a camo jacket. You'll feel right at home with those people. Yeah. A lot of the topics that I talk about are very deep. They're very high level stuff, very detailed, and some of the shows can be long and in-depth. that isn't for everyone. That isn't for everyone. If you're a little bit more simple in the way that you consume information, or you're limited to how much you can absorb before you get overwhelmed, then there's loads of other channels out there for you. Do you see? So everyone fits into a different slot. And so for me to be going to somewhere like Rumble, you got to understand, these are the easy people to help. The most difficult people to help are the people that I'm here to help, right? Which are the people who've got no idea, the single lone woman, the normal dude and his wife in a semi-detached house with 3 kids, right? Just normal people who have a normal professional job, and they've heard some of their friends at work saying, you know, that they're getting a few extra tins of beans, and they ask themselves a question, maybe I should do something to prepare myself, but they don't know where to start. These are the people that are the most difficult people to help, which is why I'm starting there. If all you're talking about is like, you know, bushcraft, which I know I do a lot of, because it's part of that bug out skill and survival skill, but if that's all your content is, and you're always wearing camo and you're all about the military, then you're just going to attract people who already know all the basic stuff, you know, from the military anyway, so you don't need to teach them all that because they already know all that. Do you see what I mean? So my target audience wouldn't be on Rumble, because if they're on Rumble, it means they already know there's a problem in the world, right? There's no mainstream channels where it's not all fear-mongering and conspiracy theories and all this sort of stuff. That is what's rare. And so that's where this fits in. Yeah, hence the Sigma Prepper, because it's all about, you know, people who want to be self-reliant, and, you know, these aren't people who need to be part of a gang or people who need to be part of some sort of a team, us against them. We're not all about that. We don't need that, right? Like a platoon, this is for commandos, right? This is for one-man army. Commandos is who I attract, yeah? Who have the cognitive ability to implement strategic preparedness tactics rather than just stocking tins of food. And do you know what I mean? It's totally different. So there's completely different markets for completely different people, and wherever you feel like you fit in will be where you spend your most time learning from or engaging with. It really is as simple as that. And every prepper channel out there has its own little niche market of people that think that they're the sorts of people that talk their language. These are the sorts of people that would be my friend if I met them in a pub. That's all. And so you need to not chase around who you want to attract. If you just be you, and you be you authentically and genuinely, then the right people will find you. And every single one of the people that find you will be the right people who are talking your language, are in tune with your vibe, who understand the higher level complexities and strategies involved when we're talking, once you move outside of that normal level of basic shit, yeah? Because the basic shit's the easy shit. Everyone knows all that already, yeah? It's helping people who haven't got a clue. It's helping disabled people. It's helping, as I said, single women who don't have big muscles like I have. Well, I'm saying I've got big muscles, but, you know, I'm like black belt trained in things like mixed martial arts, right? But it's just not realistic for a woman to defend herself with the traditional means, and especially in the UK where you're so limited with the means that you're legally allowed to employ or deploy. Right? That's the hard stuff. That's the difficult stuff. They're the difficult people to help. So it just makes sense that they're my target audience, because the most difficult problems are the ones that I specialize in solving for people. And that's what I've become known for. So, you know. Blue is best colour. So I've just been completely ignoring everyone in the chat. Sorry, everyone. I like those sorts of channels, but their utility is limited for me. I'm disabled. I can't run and gun. Exactly, tucked by V1. Exactly. Sandy will tell you how many things I've talked to her about with like war planning for her, who has a mobility scooter. And In fact, I invented her a little special socket thing that and sent it to her as a gift, just because she's a friend and she loves me. I love her, right? Just like I love all of you, right? That's why I speak to so many of you behind the scenes, one-to-one and stuff, because you understand me, I understand you, yeah. That's how you build relationships with people that are meaningful, right? And I made Sandy this thing that she can utilize her electric mobility scooter as a power bank, basically, with USB outlets and a cigarette car lighter socket, so she can run things like electric blankets and electric kettles, 12-volt electric kettles in a crisis. Do you know what I mean? And little basic stuff like that, keep her ham radios charged and things. And so everything's solvable if you put a bit of thought into it. Which is why a lot of the shows that I do are exactly specific. I'll tell you what, like as an example, if I go now, I don't even know what's last in there. So this is like an old show I did, Security and Defences, when it hits the fan. This is some good examples in here about what is your greatest concern when it comes. This was a vote I had. So this was ages ago I did this one. So this is a situation report, got a complete grid down scenario. We've got inoperable sewage systems, we've got inoperable water systems, total cell and internet outage, major transport disruptions. This is what we're assuming as the SHTF scenario shows that I would do. The mission, the objectives, right? And then unique considerations, local culture, crime. Obviously, everyone's got a different situation, where they are, where they live, what their town's like, the size of their property, whether they got disabilities, fitness, health needs, you see, personal survival, self-defense knowledge, budget, financial needs. So take all that into consideration type thing. And then you see here, we go through the bug in or bug out or homestead, because they're three different things. People get confused with these. So homestead is like homesteading. You're supposed to be acting cool around your neighborhood. Yeah. Blending in. Bugging in, you don't want to be doing really. This is super, super short term. Bugging in is like hiding in the attic, hiding in the basement, acting like you're not there. Yeah. Covert. This is super temporary. Once you've gone from homestead to bug in, you can't go from bug in to homestead again. And the same way, once you go from homestead to bugging out, you ain't going back to bugging in or homestead, because your shit's going to be taken over. So I give you a breakdown of homestead, the definition, bugging in, the definition, if you've got a bunker, if you've got a small gap between your wall or whatever it might be, right? And then bugging out, obviously, I've given you this romantic view of bugging out, but it's not like that, which is why I do these solo stealth bushcraft camps that I do every year, several a year, because it's the hardest thing you can do if you're solo and you're stealth. My camp does look similar to this, but it's not the reality. It's not reality. And this is where I'm talking about being a reversible thing with this slide, right? So the point being is that if you go from homestead, where you're blending in with your community and you're sort of pretending like you're got hardship just like your neighbours, and you know, you don't want to be shutting all your windows and shutting yourself off, because it's just not how it works. If you've ever lived through several crises like we have in foreign countries, you can already see how humanity plays out culturally. So that won't be an option open to you, no matter how much you convince yourself and how much hopium you're smoking. So you got to blend in with your community and act like you're in the same situation as them, and you ain't got any more resources than they have, and you're looking as desperate as they have. Bugging in is like if your house has got trashed, if your front door's got smashed in because you haven't handled or de-escalated someone coming to your property well enough. Yeah, you've gone all like angry and like threatening and triggered by them, then they'll come back the night after and completely petrol bomb your place, right? So let's assume you've been, you know, your place has been compromised, your front door's got smashed in, your windows have been smashed in. You're not going to want to stay in your home, are you? You're not going to feel safe in your property at night with all your windows smashed in that you can't secure. This is where you're going to end up wanting to bug in. If your entire house gets burnt down or something worse, you got no option but to bug out. If the government comes round and says, right, we're doing an evacuation order, you've got 3 hours to get out of your house, you're bugging out whether you like it or not. Right? And anyway, I give people the choice: homestead, stay with all your stuff, or bug out with your bug out bag. Now, this is basically if you get to the point where you're living in a city like that and you've got stuff going on, you've got crying, screaming, you've got gunshots going on, you've got people's doors being smashed in down the hallway, and you know that tomorrow night you're likely going to be lessed. Right? Next. So, what this whole show is actually about is defining unique personal threats, size of your land, size of family, local community preparedness level. So there's lots of things that will determine your potential success, your tactical advantages of homesteading. And now we break down the way I do this, the way I teach this whole the security and defenses in an SHTF is based on perimeters, right? So this was the best way I felt to structure this. Is I start off with a wider area. And I would give you a Google Earth. You've got to watch this video, man. It was cool. I'd done it as a podcast. Everyone loved it. And there were so many little bits and pieces in there. And when you go through, we break down the local neighborhood. Then we go to immediate neighbors. And I'm just telling you, man, you need to go and check it out. Because these shows, I spend so much time and effort putting into... these shows I've done over the years actually are the things that make up my ultimate guide to prepping book. So a lot of those 350, 400 pages in that book are actually made up of my original research and notes I did way back that I made those shows on the back of as well. So they're very well. I definitely recommend going and checking it out, because there was another one that I did that I think is like super apt at the moment. Which is how to survive a financial collapse. I put a lot of work into that, and that's another one of those podcast ones on my channel, I think. Let me see if I can find it for you so you know what you're looking for, because it's on the lives, but I'm pretty sure it's in the podcasts. It is. Security and protection I've done as a podcast for you, so that's broken up into episodes. So this is how it looks. Yeah, security and protection. And I literally, as you can see with the thumbnails, I broke it up into the different perimeters. Yeah, and cut up the original live show. This is me with my chainsaw. You'll have to watch it. So you got the podcast there series, which was that entire live. Each one of these is about 15, 20 minute segments to make it a little bit more bite-sized. But the one that I think is particularly apt at the moment is how to survive a financial collapse, which I don't know how long ago that was, but this was where I saw all what's happening now coming, and I thought I need to be getting this out there now before it really starts happening to people. Let me know if you've seen the one I'm talking about. It's how to survive the economic collapse. Okay. So what I do is I'll whack that link in the live chat. So I've whacked a video in there, the one I'm talking about, so you can check it out after. But this is how to survive the economic collapse. It's worth a watch. But I'm going to redo that show because I can't rely on people checking it out from before. But that how to survive an economic collapse one, there's so many nuggets in there, it's not even funny. So I definitely recommend watching that. How to survive the economic collapse. So what I'm saying is that I might rerun that, yeah. I might redo that presentation for you. Sorry, I haven't. I don't know what's going on here. Blue is anti-laser color. Sorry, I don't know what's going on in the chat. My window seems to have stuck as well. Hold on, I'm going to have to hit refresh. Just F5 it. F5 it. Right. Sorry. When is the book out? Do you know what? It's going to be out much sooner than I had a whole chapter to do with how to survive World War III as a chapter. And I've let me pull it up for you. I've been working on another product in the background, which is more of a... What we're looking for? Oh, products. I think version 3.8 I've got on here. That'll do. Here we go. So this is the book. But I just need to pull out. So it's the Ultimate Prepping Guide, yeah? This is version 3.6. I've written books over the years before about it, but not as Secret Prepper, so... obviously Flex going out to people, so your names will be on there, by the way. So Patreon VIPs will be advertised, your names will be advertised on in the front, so that's cool. So we've got legal and ethical stuff about how to not get you know what, yeah, not to mess yourself up and stuff. There's all my own quotes in there as well as other quotes, right? As in my own personal quotes as Single Prepper. But the thing is, right, is in here, I've got like quite a few chapters about things. And what happened was, is because I've got things like the quiz, right? This is all interactive quiz, don't forget. I always do my books as being interactive. So you can, according to rule of threes, how long can you typically survive without food? 3 weeks. Correct. Thank you for playing. You see, reset. So I built this, which is all completely interactive, just because why not? So we talk about, you know, top 5 global threats for 2024 and stuff. This will be obviously updated because I'll be launching it this year instead. But I had this whole thing about like how to survive World War III, and it's too massive. It's too massive, so I'm gonna be pulling that stuff out. We've got all my SHF intel sources there as well for you. How to keep track of all the news or what's going on, where I get all my source information from. So a few of these are prototype sections, but most of these are all pretty much nailed down. Look, personal preparedness. This is talking about tailoring your survival plans and things, and we've got more stuff. And then it goes into a section which talks about a grid down scenario and how to survive it, what happens day by day, taken from my original SHF scenarios video I've done many years ago that everyone loved. This one here, look, grid down scenario. So this is taken from my original back in 2022. Tells you what you should do in the first 5 minutes. What's going to happen on day 3, day 4, and so on. Right? So this is massive. As you can see up there, 300, and that's without all the other stuff added in yet. So it's just getting a little bit of a monster. And like I say, when I started putting the how to survive World War III in there, there's a whole load of stuff in there about mental mastery as well, which is important. Yeah. Which breaks down the fight, flight, fear responses, freeze and stuff, yeah. But also there's like how to survive civil unrest, and this is how to compensate for yourself if you find yourself fawning quite a lot. It's how to train yourself to not. Yeah, the OODA loop, I explained that. We've got the Eisenhower matrix as well, explained in full detail for you, for those that aren't familiar, right? Lots of decision-making techniques and stuff, scalable survival strategy. So there's like loads of different things in there that you're going to need to this is like, again, that whole breaking down the bugging out versus bugging in versus homestead. That breaks down all the pros and cons, what to look out for, all your quick tips as well. I mean, it's literally laden, right, with stuff, but it's such a massive project. It's been going on, I've been writing it for ages and I keep adding stuff to it, so. So that's kind of what it looks like without really going through it. But yeah, it's just a bit of a big one, and because I've had to step back with other projects I've been working on as well for Sigma Prepper, I've got some other survival gear I'm going to be launching. I also took a break from that to release the winter prepping guide, don't forget, which is completely free. If you want to download the winter prepping guide, don't forget, just head over to sigmaprepper.com and you'll see /Wolfpack report with hyphens. I'm sure Daily Survival will be shoving the link in. So the link's in the description of this video as well. But the Ultimate Wolfpack report, if you join that, the monthly community newsletter by Sigma Prepper, you'll get the onboarding welcome email, and in that you'll get a free download of the Sigma Prepper winter prepping guide, which I showed a little bit of last night. And this includes things like, checklists and all the things you should have in your car. And yeah, it's completely free as well. I'll give it away free. That's about 42 pages guide, which I spent ages designing for you and putting together. And it's totally free. So go and get yourself, shared up on that. And, you'll never get any BS spam from me. It's just literally me and the good information in the Wolfpack report. So that will be going out on a monthly basis. So do get yourself joined up for that. And you can download the winter prepping guide for free as well. So my fire head. My hair's on fire. Like I say, links in the description. I think Day Survivals, for your convenience, whack the link in there as well. I've already broken my thing, so I was supposed to be an hour and 17 minutes. Sorry, I was supposed to be an hour, but we're already an hour and 17 minutes. But who's going medieval with a hint of Viking? Plague in his house. Yeah, but who is it who... Do you remember that time? I'm not going to say anything, but someone had another idea of making someone not want to come to your front door, and it wasn't nice. Thank you everyone for being with us. Is this as awkward like putting doggy doo-doo on door handles? Pretty good first deterrent. I don't know, man. Who wants to be dealing with that? You don't want to be increasing the amount of bacteria you've got to be dealing with. Your immune system's going to be on the floor as it is during a crisis if you're not eating properly and things. But go and check it out. And like I say, Wolfpack report. Go and get joined up on that. I'm out of tea. Cheers, everyone. Thank you so much for our support last night for my 3rd anniversary of Sigma Prepper show. 3 years rocking. Obviously, many of you have come from my previous channels I've had before regarding prepping and stuff. And truther communities and things I've been a part of over the years. So I do appreciate your support and your loyalty, everyone. I'm really... it's so touching, and all the support I've had. Literally, I was going to say hundreds, maybe about 100 people reaching out to me over recent events. I really appreciate all that. Thank you, guys. And I really appreciate you sharing your opinions as to why you think it's all going on. So, book looks great, says Paul. Hope you can finish it soon. Surviving World War III could be a hope. You hit the nail on the head, Paul. I thought, you know what, this was going to end up... When I calculated, I had 89 pages already for the How to Survive World War III without any of the stuff that I've been doing in the Warzone Wednesday series episodes, right? So if you imagine all the stuff I've put in there as well, I haven't even put that into the book yet. I'm going through the stuff, the 89 pages worth of the How to Survive World War III at the moment that I'd started putting into it. That's without things like the psychological and information warfare, 88 slide presentation. That's without the economic warfare tactics, 104 slides. That's without the cyber attack and EMP warfare tactics as well, which was like another, I don't know how many slides. And so without even putting that in, I thought I can't have a 500-page book. And I'll tell you what it was. I looked on my bookshelf at some of my books, and I tried to find a book that had 450 pages, and there weren't many, even thick ones. I thought, shit, yeah, then maybe this is getting a little bit out of hand. And then I thought, you know what? Just the How to Survive World War III is going to end up being like probably a 150-page, 200-page book as it is on its own. So I thought what you thought, Paul C, yeah, that it's like Surviving World War III could be a whole book on its own. And that's exactly what I thought. I thought, no, I need to keep it I need to keep it as the principles and the mindset of prepping is what the ultimate guide to prepping is about. And then all the other things I've got that are far more specialist, like the ultimate off-grid power system. Obviously, I come from a background of developing off-grid systems for people as a consultant. I'm electronic engineering stuff, so you expect it. I've got my own off-grid solar backup system, 12-volt system that I run. With 600 amp hour of off-grid battery banks. So, you know, I'm well placed to write books about that as well. And so they're already roughed out because I did one similar to that back in COVID. I gave out a free one in 2020, about February 2020. I built a free pandemic preparedness pack for people, which is very similar to my winter prepping guide, but for pandemic stuff. That went down viral big time back then, and everyone said, oh, you should have charged money for it, Drew, you should have charged $10 for that, or all this stuff. I was like, nah man, that's not like making money out of a crisis. What's that about, right? That's like people who were selling roses at Buckingham Palace the morning fucking Princess Diana died in a car crash. I really can't be dealing with that sort of level of capitalist greed. I don't even know what you call that. It's just like, oh man, you know, taking advantage of something like that. I'll never forget that. You see these people who like, I don't even know what time in the morning she had her car accident in the tunnel, but literally by like 7 a.m. there's people selling t-shirts with Diana, like, R.I.P. at the gates. That they must have been up all night. It's like, who thinks like that? Who thinks like that? And these like custom little things printed on roses to go on roses that had her name on it and the date to until. It's like, you know, who quickly gets out of bed? Right, we need to get the printers fired up. We need to get a whole bunch of roses in here. We need to get... I don't know, man. I got an issue with that, you know? And I had an issue with the same thing. If I had charged people for my pandemic preparedness pack, or if I had charged people, like as I showed last night with my virus prediction tool that I created, it took me a long time to create that, and gave that away free. And people are like, why did you do that, man? You could have made money out of that. Come on. So I might do the same thing with the Ultimate Prepping Guide. Yeah. Good to see you, Emma. Thank you, my darling. Plastic sticky privacy sheet on your windows, or part of them. Yeah. Look, hook up an electric fence connection to the doorknob. Like it. Electric chainsaw, definitely, for making sure you keep your shrubs in shape. No exhaust fumes, instant start. I bought a Charles Did It mug the same day. Brilliant, Pat Wright. I think that's a little bit... Oh, mind you, yeah, that is a bit harsh, isn't it? But fair play. Fair play. But that's different because you're not the one who's making it and selling it, innit? You're buying it, which is cool. Yeah? It's if you're the person who's made it and you think, oh, I've got an idea how to make some sheets. We'll do some mugs saying Charles Did It mug and we'll make some sheets out of that. You know what I mean? I don't know which is what's worst. Yeah, everyone keeps saying that, but maybe I'll just be free for Patreon members. Patreon VIPs will get it free, just the same as they get all the other stuff for free. When I do it, they always get it first. The only other person in my house is me. Dog, fortunately, he still has some nuts. Who's nuts? These nuts. Good to have you with us, my darling. Pat Ryan. Yes. Sandy, I can take it. People are using buy now, pay later loans for groceries and record. I know, it's bad news, Marv, isn't it? It's not a good look. And, you know, this is kind of what I was talking about with the economic warfare tactics and the cascade effect it's going to have on things like the supply chain and food prices, let alone everything. I can't see how it's going to end well. But we're going to keep our eye on it as this week progresses. Moving into this next week, we've got May coming up. So we've got the Wolfpack newsletter will be coming out at some point in May. I'm glad I finally done my happy birthday 3rd anniversary show for this channel, because it's only about nearly a month late. It's actually the 1st of April is the celebration day for this channel. So I do appreciate everyone being there last night and supporting me and sharing your things. Right, I think we're all good. I'm just clicking about, making sure I still haven't even gone through half the stuff that we were going to go through, but it's all right because we can do it tomorrow or something, right? Because I've still got some bits and pieces I want to show you.
This robot parks better.
Oh, I'll show you this one quickly because I think this is cool. I like cool inventions. And so this is some new thing that China's come out with, which I think is pretty cool. These are like robot car parker things.
Better than your dad, and it's not from the future.
So you don't have to do the valet parking where the dude takes your car and puts it somewhere.
They don't just find a spot. They lift your entire car, drive sideways, spin 360 degrees, and tuck it into the tightest space with insane laser precision. No ramps, no tracks, no humans. These machines operate in underground garages, malls, and busy city centers, places where every inch of space...
It's genius way of solving the problem.
In Shenzhen, and Wuxi's valet bots are leading the charge. They even clear out illegally parked cars without calling a tow truck. And guess what? The whole process takes under 2 minutes. Some garages went from fitting 100 cars to 200 after installing these bots. Less land, more cars, no stress. Plus, they reduce carbon emissions from circling drivers and cut insurance claims from parking dings. Would you let a robot valet your ride? Or are you still trusting Dave, who once backed into a pole?
Let me know. I think it's a great idea. Finally, useful robotics is tucked by V.I.P. Yeah. Drew, you're on 54 here. What does 54 mean? Are you talking about 54? Is that like as in people watching at the same time or something? I'm not sure. Thanks again, YouTube, innit? Love it. So at least I've shown that one, and now I've got a few others as well that I haven't shown you, but we'll save them for later in the week, where I have a load more for you anyway with what's going on in the week. I feel like it's going to be a busy week of news, right? I feel like as soon as Monday hits, don't forget all the big stories, wait until Monday to kick off. So I've got a feeling this week's going to be a little bit tumultuous. I've got a feeling there's going to be a lot of economic things happen. You can usually tell when you start watching the sentiment of things happening. Of course, gold and silver stock market are not open over the weekend, so we have to wait until Monday morning opens to see how the market responds from last week. But I can tell you now, I think if gold continues to go up the way it's been doing, it is spelling disaster for the US dollar. It really is spelling disaster for the US dollar, and I don't know how else to position it for you, because let me just check something quickly. And I'm just checking the value of the dollar against everything else, and it just seems to continually be sliding, which is not what they want to see it do. It's the opposite effect of what has to happen in order for Trump to be able to pay off that $9 trillion that's due in June. So when we get into May, Trump and his team have got literally like a month to try and from somewhere find $9 trillion to pay back all of those debts that are being called and are due in June, right? All the Treasury bond yield payments, where they have to give everybody their millions and millions back who lent them to America 10 years ago. This is why everything's been going on recently with the Doge, with the tariffs. It's just a desperate measure to try and get some money to pay the 9 trillion bill that's due and payable in June. If they don't, they're going to be downgraded with credit rating, and it's going to have an even worse effect on the stock market and the US dollar valuation. So this is quite an important week coming up, just so you know. So I'll be following the economic markets for you and keeping you updated with what I see and what I think it's going to lead to. But yeah. So thank you so very much for joining me. I'm going to rock and roll, and I do appreciate chilling out with me here on you know, Campfire Catch-up on a Sunday, as we usually do, and throughout the week now and again. Lots of stuff coming. I've got an epic show prepared for you, which is going to be super fascinating, which is going to be super useful for anyone in a crisis. That's going to be a full-on slides thing. Warzone Wednesday, to be honest, we've actually bashed through nearly all of the, at least nearly all of the 5th dimensional warfare tactics, I believe now. I'll just check quickly to confirm where we got to with that, but I'm pretty sure. If we look at the economic warfare slides, let's go that way. We can go backwards from there. So the show I did obviously on Wednesday was the economic warfare, 5th dimensional warfare tactics. So here we go. We did the economic warfare and the lawfare and financial warfare combined. But if you look, I've done a show for each of these topics within the 5th generation warfare tactics. We've got the 6th generation as well, but I did that because that's covered by AI and next gen warfare, which is called next gen, right? Versus 5th gen. So really, we've got all of the 4th generation stuff that we haven't looked at. So we could start banging through them. And then, of course, you've got conventional warfare tactics, which is a little bit... It's good, because there's been a lot of developments recently, but I think a lot of stuff that we covered in the drone warfare and things as part of the 5th generation warfare tactics. Sorry, this is not easy for you when I'm scanning through. But you can watch this video. This was the one I did on Wednesday, the Warzone Wednesday. So I'll see what we're going to do for this week. I might actually redo that how to survive an economic collapse instead. Rather than a Warzone Wednesday, I might do an SHGF scenario show, and I'll rejig and update the how to survive an economic collapse, right? That'll be the plan, because everyone loved that video when I did it, and that was my way of trying to prepare people for today. And since we're here now at today, I'm not going to have a problem with the skeptics saying, oh, the economy's not going to crash. It's like nothing's going to happen. It's like, you know, this is the difficulty with predicting things ahead of time, because, you know, to everyone else, you look like you're being paranoid or whatever. But it's like, because you understand how all the dots connect, and, you know, I have very much a global view on all the markets. I understand a lot of different disciplines to be able to put them all together. And I follow specialists in every discipline there is. And so when you put those dots together globally, it's quite obvious how it's going to pan out if you understand history and you understand the real history, not his story version of history, but proper history as well as you can find it. Then you understand how it's going to end up. It's just yeah, logical deduction. So now I shouldn't have to be having to convince people why they need to be preparing to survive an economic collapse, should be the idea, right? Anyway, thank you so very much, each and every one of you, for joining me. I've had a lovely time, and we'll be back tomorrow and during the week. Obviously, I've come out of my development period as well, so I'm a little bit lighter weight than I was. I've written over 3.5 million lines of code since December. So obviously I've only been doing a couple of videos a month, lives particularly, as I usually do, but yeah, I've got about 3.5 million lines of code written, and you've got no idea what this is going to mean for you, because the stuff I've got rocking for you, those that have seen my prototypes in the background are super excited to see it happen. But I have to be careful, because there's like lots of people trying to see what I'm doing next, you know what I mean? So thank you very much, everyone. I do love each and every one of you. I had such a great night last night, seeing all your lovely names coming to give me some support and saying spanking you for the 3 years, and obviously many people as well for 10, 15 years before that as well. So thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate you all. You've been such a wonderful bunch tonight. And like I say, I'm looking to be going a little bit more regularly like I was before. Now I've got this big hump of work out of the way for the next project that I'll be releasing as a survival gear for Sigma Prepper. And I can get back to doing the book as well, right? To getting the book finished, which I'm keen to get out there and just let it ride. And then I'll have series of books coming out after that. So thank you so much, everyone. I shall see you tomorrow or whenever the next one will be, probably tomorrow or Tuesday. I've got a massive bushcraft camp as well. I still need to edit up for you, which I spent ages filming and still haven't even cut it up. So it's the season now. The season's just starting in about a week or two, I think, is when the actual bushcraft season starts. So I'm a little bit early, really. But I'll be getting that figured out. Thank you, everyone. What can I tell you? It's been lovely to see you. Hit the like button on the way now if you're under all the time. I've been Drew, Sigma Prepper, and you've been such a wonderful group. And what can I say? Looking forward to the next one. Love, peace, and progress.
Reject the herd, prepare the pack. Click the like button, it's as easy as that. Check the description for the links you need. Follow my socials, subscribe to my feed. From a single lone woman to a family of 5. Learn from Sigma Prepper and see how you can thrive. We understand the risks that tomorrow could bring. We adapt and survive, it's a wolf pack thing. Prepare the pack. Click the like button, it's as easy as that. Check the description for the links you need. Follow my socials, subscribe to my feed.